Some more changes with Tesla. They're scrapping a couple of cars. So, again, by the time you see this, you're going to know that Tesla has decided to get rid of the Model S and the Model X, And the Model S was their first car after the Roadster that actually brought in, people to, EV adoption. And then the X was just this wild car, this wild SUV with the Falcon doors and looked cool and did all this stuff for you. Press the brake and the door closes. And in the earnings call, Tesla decided to scrap the car, or both of them. While this is kind of sad for me because my first EV was a Model S, and I still love the Model S, and the Model X is just so cool. We thought about getting a Model X, instead of a Model Y, but I wanted faster charging speed and I couldn't afford the one that had the faster charging speed. So we went with the Model Y, plus this one came with full self-driving installed. So, double thing. But to me, the Model S and the Model X, is a niche vehicle. It's a halo vehicle. While I love the dual screens and I love the way the cars look, they're both almost $100,000. The Model S is $94,000 starting out, and the Model X starts out at $99,000, so right at $100,000. People are wanting cheaper EVs. The used market is taking care of that a lot, but the people who want to buy new cars are not looking at $100,000 cars typically, and they're not selling a lot of them. The S, the 3 and the Y is the biggest seller. It's in a price point where people can justify that, whether by lease deals or putting some money down and having a decent car note. But the S and the X are for those other early adopters, or the ones that want that status symbol of having an S or an X. And to me, that's just not beneficial to Tesla's roadmap or Tesla's well-being. If you've got this massive factory and you've got this massive production line, then, and you're not producing a lot of cars, or you're not selling a lot of cars, then, you're not, it's just not cost effective to keep these lines open. They sell more Model 3s and Ys than all the other 3 cars they've got combined. The Model S, the Model X, and the Cybertruck. And that says something. I think it's probably 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. Now, what does that mean for the Cybertruck? I don't know. Don't really care. I think the Cybertruck's cool, but I wouldn't want to own one just because it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit my style. I think they're cool, but that's not about this video. This is about the Model S and the Model X. So while I think it's sad, and I think, people are going to miss them, even living here in Austin, I see the Model X and the Model S a lot less than I do the Model 3 and the Model Y. And, there's a reason for that. And that's because they're expensive. They're twice as much as a Model Y or a Model 3. So people are just not buying them. And, now, would I ever buy another one? Possibly. But, right now, my goal is to try to get a Rivian, but even though the Model S and the Model X is their flagship, is their the top of the line cars or SUV, it has not changed. They have not changed since they came out in 2012 and 2016. The S has had some incremental updates. It's had, they got rid of the nose cone in 2016 and went with the more, I don't know what kind of bumper you want to call it, but, I almost call it like a beak, but, that type of bumper. And except for some minor tweaks on the interior and some minor tweaks on the exterior, the car is the same from 2012. The Model X came out in 2016, and it is practically the same vehicle that it was in 2016, except for the, some minor modifications to the outside and some refresh hardware on the inside, the vertical screen, the interior, but it's basically the same vehicle. So you have a car that is that long in the tooth, 2012 to 2026, and they have not done a major update. They have not refreshed it like they've done with the Model 3 and the Model Y. Those were two very distinct model changes. You can definitely tell the difference between, a first generation Model Y like I've got and the Juniper Model Y. There's no doubt in, you look at it, it's a, what version that is. The Model S and X, you can't tell that unless you're just a Tesla fanboy and you go, oh yeah, this has that tail light, or it has these fog lights. You just can't tell. Or it doesn't have the nose cone like mine did. They've got better improvements. They got faster charging. They got, more range, more efficient motors. Overall, the car has not changed. I could go get a 2019 or a 2020 and be happy with it, because it's not any different than, anything that's out there right now. So with them not refreshing it, making a major redesign, that was writing on the wall for a couple years now. So again, while it is sad, while, I would love for them to keep producing it, it's not a surprise. And we'll see what happens to the Cybertruck. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on this. While it's sad that the Model S and the Model X is going away, it's not, I totally understand it, and it will be missed. So anyway, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time.